Hello everyone. This is Neelam Mata from Birla Public School, Pilani. Today we will study lesson of geography, that is agriculture. Objectives. Here we will learn about various types of farming and developments in agriculture. Overview. Agriculture is a primary industry that employs about 50% of the world's population, and it includes growing crops, fruits, vegetables, flowers, and rearing livestock. Favorable climate and topography of the soil are important for agriculture. We can broadly classify all farming into subsistence farming and commercial farming. Very first, we will study about the definition of agriculture. These are the definition of agriculture. The science or practice of farming, including cultivation of the soil for the growing of crops and the rearing of animals to provide food, wool, and other products. Another definition, the set of activities that transform the environment for the production of animals and plants for human use. Agriculture concerns techniques including the application of agronomic research. Before starting the topic agriculture, very first we will understand the three sector model of economic activities. These are primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. The primary sector. Primary sector is a part of the economy that draws raw material from the natural environment. It means the products or the resources we are getting directly from the nature. For example, agriculture, raising animals, fishing, forestry, or mining. Secondary sector. In the secondary sector, the activities in which natural resources are changed into the another forms through the ways of manufacturing. Secondary sector is the first step after the primary sector. For example, we use cocoa beans for making chocolates, or we use coal for making fuel, petrol, etc. It is also called the industrial sector as it is associated with different types of industries. These are the another examples of secondary production: machinery, paper, petroleum, oil, wood products, steel, iron, motor vehicles, aeroplanes, processed food, rum, and garments. Next is tertiary sector. It is also called service sector. This is a part of the economy where businesses produce services. Services which are non physical products that cannot be touched or stored, like a haircut or train journey. Examples: transport, advertising, retail, teaching, healthcare, hotels, etc. Tertiary sector is also known as service sector. It provides support services for the extractive and manufacturing sectors to the consumer. Finance, insurance, medical, beauty, recreation are the example of tertiary sector. It is the last to develop but eventually become largest employer. Agriculture. It means farming, rearing animals, and growing crops on a large scale. 50% of the persons are engaged in the agricultural activities. Two-thirds of India's population is still dependent on agriculture. The transformation from a plant to a finished product involves three types of economic activities. Do you know? Culture means cultivation, agriculture, sericulture, pisciculture, viticulture, and horticulture. Agriculture means the science and art of the cultivation. It is also called farming. Sericulture. It is commercial rearing of silkworm. Pisciculture. This is for breeding of fish. Viticulture. Cultivation of grapes. Horticulture is for growing vegetable, fruits, flowers for commercial use. This is the flow chart of the farming. Farming is divided into two parts: subsistence farming and commercial farming. Subsistence farming further divided into intensive and primitive farming. Primitive farming having two parts: shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Commercial farming. It is divided into three parts: commercial grain, mixed farming, and plantation agriculture. In the types of farming, very first we will study about subsistence farming. It is the practice of growing crops and raising livestock sufficient only for one's own use without any surplus for trade. It is divided into two parts: primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. Primitive subsistence farming having two parts: shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Shifting cultivation is a type of farming in which a plot of land is cleared by cutting down trees and burning them. The ashes are mixed with the soil and crops are grown. After the land has lost its fertility, it is abandoned. The farmers then move to a new place. Nomadic pastoralism. It is a form of pastoralism when livestock are herded in the order to find fresh pasture on which to graze. These are the features of intensive subsistence farming, where farmer cultivates a small plot of land using simple tools and he needed more labor. Rice is the main crop here. Other crops included wheat, maize, pulses, and oilseeds. This type of cultivation produces little to be left over, and mainly farmers fulfill only personal needs. Commercial farming. In commercial farming, crops are grown and animals are reared for sale in the market. The area cultivated and the amount of capital used is large. Here, capital means money, investment. Most of the work is done by machines. Commercial farming includes commercial grain farming, mixed farming, and plantation agriculture. In the commercial grain farming, crops are grown for commercial purpose, means to sell into the market. Wheat and maize are common commercially grown grains. Major areas in the world where commercial grain farming is practiced, these are temperate grassland of North America, Europe, and Asia. These areas are populated with large farms spreading over hundreds of hectares. Severe winters restricted the growing season and only a single crop can be grown. Mixed farming. The land is used for growing food and fodder crops for the rearing livestock. It is practiced in Europe, Eastern USA, Argentina, Southeast Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. Here, the farmer is able to get food for itself as well as fodder crops for the livestock. Plantation. It is a type of commercial farming where single crop of tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana, or cotton are grown. Large amount of labor and capital are required. The produce may be processed on the farm or in nearby factories. The development of a transport network is thus essential for such farming. Major plantations are found in the tropical regions of the world: rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India, and Sri Lanka are some examples. Tropical region means the area of the globe which comes from Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn. Here we will study about the crop of cotton. Cotton needs highest temperature, light rainfall, and 210 frost-free days and scorched sunshine. It needs black and alluvial soil to grow with the quality. Leading producer states of India where the cotton is grown. Now we will study about some of the crops. Very first, cotton. It is known as fiber crop. It needs high temperature, light rainfall, 210 frost-free days and scorched sunshine. It needs black and alluvial soil for the quality. Producer states of India are Gujarat, Maharashtra, Telangana, and Karnataka. In the world, leading producer countries are China, India, USA, Pakistan, Brazil, and Egypt. Next is jute. It is also known as golden fiber. It needs high temperature and humid climate. Heavy rain and alluvial soil is good for the jute. Producer leading states of India: West Bengal, Assam, and Bihar. Producer countries: these are the tropical countries, India and the Bangladesh. Next is coffee. Coffee comes into the plantation crop. It needs warm and wet climate, well drained loamy soil. Leading producer states of India: Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. And producer countries: Brazil, Colombia, and India. Tea. Tea is very common in all over the world. It needs cool climate and heavy rainfall throughout the year. It needs well drained loamy soil and gentle slopes. It also required large number of labor. Producer leading states in India are Assam, West Bengal, and Tamil Nadu. And producer countries are Kenya, India, China, and Sri Lanka. Now we will come to the agricultural development. It refers to efforts made to increase farm production in order to meet the growing demand of increasing population. This can be achieved by increasing the cropped area, the number of crops grown, improving irrigation facilities, use of fertilizers and high yielding variety of seeds, mechanization of agriculture, and at the last, its aim is to increase food security.